I'm well, thank you. Well, thank you. No, it's the first time in 2 years. First time in 2 years I think we've all been together, yeah.
It's been a long time.
All right, we are ready to go live. Welcome to tonight's meeting, all of you in the back. Thank you for joining us today. But before we get going, we have the town clerk, assistant town clerk, read a logistic statement into the record for us, please, and then do the roll call.
Thank you, Mayor. Good evening. I believe everyone is familiar with how we run these virtual meetings. For staff and those giving public comments, please come to the podium to provide your statements and presentations. As a reminder, the mayor will call on each of the board members individually to provide comments and votes. When voting, please remember to identify yourself by stating your name and your vote. Next, we'll do the roll call. Please indicate if you are present. Mayor Ronald Pappas.
Present.
Mayor Pro Tem Brenda McMillan.
I am present.
Commissioner Jason Hall.
Present.
Commissioner Ann Simpson.
Present.
Commissioner Tracy Westlick.
Present.
Commissioner Pedro Murray.
Present.
Thank you, Mayor. All members are present. Mayor, I'll turn the meeting over to you.
That's terrific. Thank you. And good to see everybody live here tonight. We were just talking earlier about how long it's been since we've all sat in the chair. So it's good to have everybody tonight. And welcome everybody to this regular meeting of the Board of Commissioners. It is virtual, but it is a hybrid for those who may have to or want to attend virtually. So with all that, we'll call this meeting to order, and we'll move down to adoption of the agenda.
Mayor, I
Not
have
yet.
one suggested amendment to the agenda,
Very good.
and that is for the consent agenda, item number 5, the approval of petition for acceptance of dedicated public streets in Millbridge Subdivision. And the recommendation is to remove phases 2F and 2E map 2 from that item due to some deficiencies discovered in one of the streets in that phase and map section.
Okay, very good. Thank you. Is everybody clear on the purpose of this? Basically isn't ready. So with that, look for a motion to accept tonight's agenda as amended.
I'll make a motion to accept tonight's agenda as amended.
Outstanding. Thank you. I guess we can do this all in favor. That'd be aye.
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 As opposed, no. Unanimous. We're not used to this anymore, all being here. This is fun. I don't have to do the roll call and everything, so that's outstanding. Appreciate that. All right, so that worked out fine. And now we go to our ceremonial opening, because we moved this around a couple of weeks ago. So if you would please stand and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance and remain standing for a brief moment of silence. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, everyone. You may be seated. All right, we'll drop down to general public comments. As I understand it, there are no public comments tonight
No
on any of the
public
topic
comments
items.
for this
Okay, we'll move down to the consent agenda. So can I have a motion to adopt tonight's consent agenda as amended?
Make a motion to accept tonight's consent agenda as amended.
Very good. All in favor?
Aye.
All around, we're good. Thank you. All right, we'll move down to recognitions, and this one is for our own Wendy Davenport, our HR Resources Director. So I'm going to pass the baton to Jeff Wells, our town manager.
Thank you, Mayor, and while I'm talking, Wendy needs to make her way up to the podium. podium. She'll get to
Oh, yes.
Say
Nobody
words.
escapes us.
as well, but our Human Resources Director, Wendy Davenport, is now a certified senior professional in human resources. This is the highest credential that is obtained in the human resources profession. She completed the required coursework and program along with the final exam to receive the credential. So she is now Wendy Davenport, HRCI, SPHR. That's some credentials right there.
Got to get her new cards, right?
The Human Resources Certification Institute validates expertise and provides a designee with competency-based, professionally relevant credentials. So just wanted to give her this moment to receive this recognition and let her know how proud I am of her, and I know how proud the rest of the town staff is of her, and she greatly deserves it. So very well done. Congratulations.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you, Wendy. Yeah. It's a lot of work. Wendy's been with us for a long time and has continuously done the personal improvement as well as improving our efforts in the town. So thank you from all of us for all the work that you do for us. We're interesting, huh? So, that's great. Well, I appreciate that. Thank you. Then we have another one. So, Jeff, I'm going to pass that back to you. This is recognition of the Cusperson Middle School's Odyssey of the Mind team. So they joined us up here earlier for a photograph opportunity. Back to you.
All right, thank you, Mayor. I'll say a couple of words about the program, and then I'll let Autumn Bell come up to the podium, and she can say a few words too if she would like. But Odyssey of the Mind is a 45-year-old program that challenges students to think outside the box and use creativity to solve problems. 2 Cuthbertson Middle School teams have progressed through the regional and state competitions to qualify for the World Finals this year. Each of the team members are here this evening with their parents. Along with the recognition, they would like to raise awareness for the Odyssey of the Mind program in hopes of building the program in our community. Representing the team is Autumn Bell, and she's welcome to tell us any more about the program that she would like.
Welcome. Come on up. You can get right to the microphone.
So my name is Autumn Bell, and I've been an Odyssey of the Mind coach for 5 years now. This was a program that was started back in the 70s. It is, like you summed up, it is a creative, problem-solving organization where but it's a competition. So these kids work for an entire year creating these skits or vehicles or structures that hold the most weight, and then they compete against schools throughout the, first at the regional level, then the state level, and now we're going to what's called World Finals, because it traditionally would have 17 to 30 different countries also attending. With COVID, the number of different countries attending will be lower, but I have heard of at least 5 countries attending this year, so we'll get back there. So it truly is an international program. Some of these schools have it as part of their curriculum, so that's what we're going up against. And I'm just so proud to tell you about these 2 teams. The first team, they've been doing this for 5 years, and they have made it to Worlds for 5 straight years. And I can tell you, I've never met another team that's accomplished that. That's huge. Cusperson is well known by Odyssey of the Mind because of our strong presence in that competitive realm. And then we had a vehicle team, first-year team, and they worked and they fought and they struggled and they made it to Worlds as well. So I couldn't be more proud of their accomplishments. If you don't mind, I think a couple of them would like to come and just say a couple words, and we'll keep it brief.
Welcome them up. Absolutely.
I see at least one OM judge, so thank you for your time. Did you? Yeah, you
Commissioner
came and
Morey.
judged a few years back.
Sure. Just before
appreciate
COVID.
your time.
I had the
Thank
pleasure and honor of doing that, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Anybody that-
Come on up. Be brave. You've been brave all along, so this is not a place to stop.
Hi, I'm Laura Morrow, and I'm on the first team that she mentioned, the 5-year team. I've been doing Odyssey of the Minds for, I believe, 3 years now, and it really is an amazing program. I have a lot of creativity in like sewing and like creating sets and stuff like that. So to be able to come and use Odyssey of the Mind as an outlet for that creativity, and like I do a lot of costume design, so to be able to use Odyssey to create and have a basis for what I wanted to use my creativity for was really nice, and having a problem to express myself through was really fun. And I love the people on the team, and it's an amazing environment, and I love going every year.
Wow. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Hello, my name is Eden Shaw. I've been in the Odyssey of Mind program for the 5 years. Been to Worlds over 5 times, and it's truly an experience. It has a team that like plays to everyone's strengths, whether you're like a set builder, like a storyteller. It really has just like everyone and like coming together and, you know, always like playing to their strengths and everything. And I moved over here from the United Kingdom about 5 years ago in 2017, and I've been on here every single time. And it's why that we moved to Union County, because we love this idea, and you know it's gonna be like great going into high school, and there are even some college teams and everything. So I really want this to be, you know, a school-wide thing for me, and it's really some of the best experiences of my life, and it's truly an experience. So yes, I love this team, and thank you.
You're welcome. Congratulations.
Hello, I'm Shiloh Bell, and I've been on the team for as long as Eden have. We've been in it since the beginning, and it's truly an experience because it just gives, like, the first year we did it, we had this girl on our team, and she was very shy, and just seeing her open up through, like, performing and acting, that was really amazing to watch, just to see people, like, open up in this creative problem, and it really just is an experience that I, like, hope a lot of people get to enjoy. It's just, I go into school and no one knows about it, and I'm always like, yeah, you gotta try Odyssey of Mind, because I know so many people that would enjoy doing it if they actually got to try it.
That's very good. Well, congratulations. Thank you.
Hello, I'm CJ Collins, and this is actually my first year on the Odyssey of the Mind team. I moved here from Kentucky, and Shiloh actually convinced me to join the team. And definitely it's not one of the things I expected to enjoy. I never really liked acting or performing or building a set. But once I tried it, I actually really enjoyed it. I love building the set. I love coming up with creative problems, or seeing the problems that we made and coming up with creative solutions. And definitely there have been a lot of firsts since this is my first year here, and this was one of the best firsts I've had in a while, especially with coming with the creativity, and just the competition is really well made and it's nice to compete in.
That's awesome. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Amy Wazlowski, and I've been on this team for about 3 years, and I've loved it. I really liked, like, creating things and art, and I was super shy before. So joining this team was really amazing for me to expand my horizons and doing things. And I am so much more extroverted now because of this team. I love acting now. I love creating sets. Going to Worlds has been such an experience. It is so amazing. And I love this team. I enjoy it very much.
That's good. Congratulations.
I think I'm a little bit too short for this, but anyways, my name is Coraline Dew, and I'm just so thankful for you guys to have us here, and I'm thankful for the coaches, the judges, and my teammates that had to put in the hard enough work so we get to send to Worlds. I'm just so thankful for this experience.
Well, congratulations, and congratulations to all of you. I think we found some of our replacements, so, you know. Hang in there, don't move. So that's awesome. Well, that's great. What a great program. And Pedro, you've been part of the program at one time, I know. So
I did, just before COVID, I had the privilege of going and judging, and just to add on to what was said, it is a great thing to be able to see that kind of creativity and problem solving put together, because that is what's going to help us drive our future. And it was just a great experience. So I'm thankful for you stepping up and putting in all that hard work and dedication. I can guarantee you that you will benefit, you know, 1,000-fold in the future. Just stick with it and enjoy it.
all right, very good. Thank you. Appreciate that. Thank you, everybody. All right, very good. Well, thanks for that. I appreciate that. It was nice to see. It's nice to see so many of you. And this is one of the reasons why we do what we do, to provide a more lifelong, long-lasting experience for those of you who are going to be here at the time. Do we have one more that wanted to come up? Did I see that? I see like you're kind of pushing him that direction, so That's great, not a problem. Thank you very much on that. So with that, I guess we'll move on to the next one. All right, present. You can do that. That's perfectly fine.
Thanks for coming.
We understand. We'd like to sneak out too, but we have to be here for a while. All right, so we'll drop down. There's nothing on presentations tonight, so we're going to go to public hearings, and if I could have a motion. The first one is public hearing for general rezoning petition RZ 013-802-2022. And if I could have a motion to open the public hearing.
Motion to open public hearing on general rezoning petition 013-802-2022.
Very good. All in favor?
Aye.
All around. Very good. None opposed. So first presenter is Miss Lisa Thompson. So Lisa, you're Planning and Inspections Director, as everybody will now know. So the microphone is yours.
All right. Thank you, Mayor. Petition RZ 013-802-2022 is a request by the town for a general rezoning from B4 Commercial, which is in Union County, to NC Neighborhood Center. It's property located at 8215 Waxhaw Highway. The northern portion, recently annexed last month, is outlined in blue. It's a total of 4.195 acres, and we have 60 days to zone this property. On the screen is our current zoning map. To the north, you have NC, its existing Main Street station. To the east is NC, it's the town-owned property, it's the mulch piles. To the south, you have R1 single family, which is the museum property. And to the west, you have NC and County B4. Anytime we have a rezoning, we look at our future land use plan map. The future land use plan map designates the subject property as mixed use. Mixed-use areas are targeted for a mixture of retail, office, medium-density residential housing choices that's walkable and convenient to the to neighborhoods. The recommended zoning district for the property is NC, Neighborhood Center. It allows for smaller scale offices, neighborhood-oriented retail and services, as well as cottage homes, townhomes, duplexes, triplexes, and quads, at a rate of no more than 8 units per acre. A copy of the dimensional standards and primary uses is included in your packet. With every rezoning, we are required to adopt a land use plan consistency statement. A draft has been provided. You guys can make amendments to this statement. And with that, Planning Board did recommend approval on April 19th. And with that, I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Great. Thank you, Lisa. Of course, this has been something that's been in process and works for a little while, so you've worked that before. Any questions, comments, thoughts from any of the commissioners? Everybody's doing their homework, which is a good thing. Thank you for all of that, so appreciate that. So there isn't anybody signed up for public comment on this stuff at all, so okay. So we'll make it easy. We'll just jump down to close the public hearing. Can I have a motion, please?
I'll make a motion to close the public hearing.
All right, motion's up to close the public hearing. All in favor? Oh.
Aye.
Did you have a question? Okay, you don't have a question. All right, very good. All right. Just want to make sure you pointed over there. So, all right, that one is, the next one up is the public hearing on general rezoning petition RZ 013614-2022. And again, we have Planning Department representing us again, and Miss Janet. Janet, the floor is yours. Take that back. Let me open this. Sorry about that. So a motion to open this portion, this public hearing. So all in favor? I have a motion, and go ahead. All in favor for a motion?
Aye.
Or make a motion. Sorry about that. I'm stuttering.
I'd like to make a motion to open a public hearing.
Very good. I'm used to the roll call. So, all right. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. All right. Now you can have it. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Mayor. Petition RZ 013614 is a request by Ken Orndorff of Green Street Land Company for a rezoning from R1 single-family residential to R4 for property located at 8215 Waxhaw Highway. This is the property known as the museum property. It is the southern portion of the property that Ms. Thompson just spoke about. This rezoning, the current zoning map has this zoned as R1. To the north is a town-owned public services site, and existing single-family residences zoned NC. To the east is a single-family subdivision zoned R3. To the south is the elementary school zoned R1, and to the west, vacant county-owned or county-zoned B4, and existing family single residence and outbuildings zoned county R10, and existing single-family residences zoned R3. Anytime we have a rezoning, we look at our future land use plan map. The future land use map designates the subject property as medium-density residential. This zoning provides a density that is consistent with traditional suburban-style housing. The medium-density residential designation is utilized throughout town for a majority of its established subdivisions and for large parcels of land that do not yet have water or sewer, but could accommodate a density of 3 to 5 units per acre. The requested zoning district for this property is R4. Remember, the land use plan map said 3 to 5 units per acre. R4 allows for up to 4 units per acre with the potential of up to 5 units with a cluster subdivision. R4 allows for single-family attached homes and cottage homes, which may be a good transition from the adjacent R3 and NC districts. In your packet, there's a summary sheet of dimensional standards and primary uses from the LDC. With every rezoning, we're required to adopt a land use plan consistency statement. The statement must describe how the zoning proposed is consistent or inconsistent and explain why the proposed action is reasonable and in the public interest. Staff has provided a statement that can be adopted or modified as needed. Proper notice of the public hearing was sent out by staff. Ms. Thompson received one phone call from a resident who was older and wasn't sure if she would be able to make it to the meeting tonight. She was worried about drainage, traffic, keeping the trees, and deer. Ms. Thompson explained that the subdivision was annexed in from the county and that they didn't have detention requirements at that time. The subject property has to detain the 10-year storm, which may help divert the sheet flow that she could be getting now, and that would look after her property as we're going through the site planning process. And the caller seems satisfied with that. At the April 19th Planning Board meeting, the board voted 3-1 for a favorable recommendation to the Board of Commissioners and 3-1 for a favorable recommendation of the reasonableness and consistency statement as presented. The dissenting member voiced concern about the number of units permitted in a cluster subdivision, which can be up to 5, and especially since it's located next to an elementary school. The requested action this evening is to close the public hearing. And I'd be happy to answer any questions, and there are representatives here for the zoning. If you're
Very good. Ms. Lisa wants to add to it?
Mr. Nyland is going to introduce the team, if you don't mind.
That'd be great. Welcome.
Hi, my name is Joe Nyland. I represent BGE. We have with me Ken Orndorff from Green Street Land Company.
Yeah. We'll have you go to the mic so everybody else can hear you. We can.
Start over. My name is Joe Nyland. I represent BGE, and I have with me Ken Orndorff and Creighton Call, representing Green Street Land Company. So they're the developers of this project. We are the civil engineers and land planners for this project. And first of all, I'd like to say thank you for your time, Board of Commissioners, and also Lisa and Janet, thank you for your time, and offering a favorable recommendation for us. So, happy to answer any questions.
Very good.
Ken, Creighton, feel free to chime in as well.
All right, well, this is a public hearing, so it's open it's informational for us as well. So any questions, comments, thoughts from any of the commissioners on this project? I think we're all aware of it. It surrounds one of our properties, so we've had this up before. So I guess there's none from that. So thank you for putting this together, and we look forward to then getting it on the next meeting.
Thank you for your time.
Lisa, Janet, you're complete with yours? Okay, very good. All right, at this point, I'll have a motion to close this public hearing.
Make a motion to close the public hearing.
All in favor?
Aye.
All around, we're good. Thank you. Appreciate that. All right, next up is a special use petition CU 0136342022. It's consideration of a request by an applicant for a special use permit. So have another motion to open up this public hearing.
And I'll make a motion to open up the public hearing.
Great. All in favor?
Aye.
All right, we're open. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
I'm going to learn how to consolidate all these public hearings yet.
Okay, so CU 013634 is a request by Jennifer Hughes for a special use permit for the Groomery to add, excuse me, an animal kennel to the existing dog grooming business located at 3919 Providence Road South. Our LDC defines an animal kennel as a use or structure intended and used for the breeding or accommodation of domestic animals for sale or for the training or overnight boarding of animals for persons other than the owner of the lot. Exhibit 1 is the complete special use permit application. And submitted as part of that application is a letter which states the following regarding the kennel operations. Boarding will be for a maximum of 10 dogs. Dogs will be small to medium in size, possibly some elderly dogs that are larger in size. Each dog will be assessed for size, demeanor, bark noise level, etc. If a dog is not determined to be a good fit, it will not be accepted as a boarder. There will be no change to the current lighting, and drop-off and pickup will be during regular business hours of 7 a.m. to 6 p.m. Exhibit 2 is a floor plan of the Groomery. There are 10 existing kennels which will be used for overnight boarding if this petition is approved. Exhibit 3 is an aerial photo. The Groomery, indicated with the red marker, is located in a multi-use commercial building which also houses a tax services business and an auto parts store. To the north is a multi-use commercial building. To the south is a hardware store. To the east is Waxhaw Professional Park. And to the west, across Providence Road, are undeveloped parcels and a daycare center. Exhibit 4 is a Waxhaw zoning map. The subject property is outlined in blue. The property is zoned commercial corridor, as are the adjacent properties with the exception of the undeveloped parcels across Providence Road. Those parcels are zoned neighborhood center. At the April 19th planning meeting, the planning board unanimously approved a motion for a favorable recommendation of CU 013634 with the condition per the applicant's site plan that the kennels will remain in the interior of the building and no exterior kennels for overnight boarding will be allowed at this time. And the applicant has agreed to that condition. The proper notices were sent by staff to the adjacent property owners and a sign was placed on the subject property at least 10 days prior to the date of this hearing. No negative comments were received by staff. The following points must be considered when evaluating a special use permit application. The proposed use will not materially endanger the public health or safety. The proposed use will comply with all regulations and standards generally applicable within the zoning district and specifically applicable to the particular type of special use or class of special uses. The proposed use will not substantially injure the value of adjoining property, and the proposed use will be in harmony with the area in which it is located. Conditions are permitted to be attached to a special use permit. Any conditions must be agreed to in writing by both parties. The requested action tonight is a motion to close the public hearing. And with that, if you have any questions that I can answer, or Jenny Hughes, the applicant, is here as well.
Great. So you're welcome to come up and speak if you need to, want to, or not. All right. Not a problem.
It's okay, neither are we.
Well, welcome. Any questions for
I have
our
a
presenter
question.
tonight?
So I know you'll have to take the dogs outside. So what are the plans for that?
We have a little grassy area in the back part that's kind of connected to our back of our building. We also have that sidewalk along the front where a lot of people like to walk their dogs. The public, that we can take them down that sidewalk, to let them get some exercise and go for friends.
Good. Does that work? It's part of that, that area that you're speaking of is part of your leasehold? Okay. All right, very good.
So, from the land use code, do we have anything that defines that there needs to be a fenced-in area for exercising animals and?
No, we do not. If you look at the floor plan of the building, there is an area that's 30 feet where they do have access to play with the animals, and then they walk them.
Is that fine? Okay, very good. Commissioner Simpson.
Question for you, is there any sort of,
You can come up to the mic, by the way, so everybody else can hear.
is there any sort of modifications on the interior if there, so there wouldn't be a nuisance with noise if the dogs are barking overnight or anything like that to the adjoining businesses?
There's no other really businesses around us that are open at night. And like I said, all the dogs will be assessed. So all the businesses are closed during those hours. So I think it's pretty soundproof because during the day we have a lot of dogs that we're grooming that come in and out, and we have not gotten any complaints about barking when we're holding, that many animals at a time. So.
Okay, very good. Any other thoughts, comments, questions for the applicant or the presenter? Okay, thank you. Thank you both very much. All right, with that, I'll ask for a motion to close this public hearing.
And I'll make a motion to close this public hearing.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, thank you once again. All right, next up, public hearing for a text amendment, TA 0136322022, Parks and Rec, land donation fee in lieu. So this is going to be, we're going to open up a public hearing on this. So all in favor of opening up this public hearing, we have a motion?
I'll make a motion to open the public hearing.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Very good.
Aye.
All right, we're open. Back to Miss Lisa. I think you've got this one.
Thank you, Mayor. If you'll advance the slide, please, for me.
Almost. Barbie will go back. Momentary pause for technical difficulties, huh? Do you need the next slide to start?
No.
Go for it.
I'm really proud of this
Oh, but
slide
you
deck,
want
though.
the next slide, okay. I get it
Has
now.
icons
I
and
get it.
everything.
No, point taken.
Oh, here we go.
There you go.
Okay. This is a text amendment by the Town of Waxhaw Planning Department. It's to amend Section 8.9 Open Space, the Land Development Code. It adds H, which is titled Dedication of Recreational Areas and Open Space Land. 160D 804 is the statute that allows for us to require the public parkland dedication or the fee in lieu. It requires the formula to be based on tax value, and we can mix land dedication with the fee in lieu. In the text itself, we have general provisions. The requirement is for any major subdivision. We defined a major subdivision as 10 lots or more. And the decision to accept the fee in lieu or dedication shall rest with you all upon planning board recommendation. And we're going to do this at the preliminary plat stage. If we accept the dedicated land, we'll want the land to meet certain circumstances. For unity, we want the land to be on a single parcel and not mix kind of smaller parcels throughout. We want it to be usable, so we have a provision that at least 2/3 of the dedicated land shall be suitable for active recreation. This is more of your ball fields type uses. The shape also has to be conducive to those types of uses. We We want the location to be accessible and in close proximity to the area residents. And then also, we don't want any steep slopes, so we're going to look at that topography. The calculation in the text for the amount of land to be dedicated is 1/35 of an acre dedicated for each dwelling unit, or it's the payment of lieu for that same amount of acreage based on the tax value. So it's recommended that we have 1 acre of park or rec facility per 100 persons. So reducing our population down to 20,000 people, we should have about 200 acres of parkland. We are shy of that, so this text amendment should help get us there and not put a burden on the existing taxpayers. So I did provide an example. If we have a 100 acre development at 3 units per acre, that's 300 units. This development would require an 8.5 acre park dedication or a fee in lieu of $557,142. The planning board. Yes, put it up there. So for a 100 acre development, let's say we approve R3, that's 300 units. That's an 8.5 acre park donation, public park donation, or the tax value, and that's a $65,000 per acre assumption. So that's could be up or down based on the value of the property. That's a $557,142 payment to the town for a fee in lieu. And that has to be used for park and rec or purchase of land for those same purposes in the area. The planning board reviewed the text on March 15th and unanimously recommended approval. With any text amendment, we have the reasonableness land use plan consistency statement, which has been drafted for your review. And tonight's motion is to close the public hearing. I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Great, it's a great step in the right direction.
Yeah.
It really is. I appreciate that. Any other comments, thoughts, questions? The commissioners, we're certainly looking forward to being able to receive one of these and not have to have as much of the unusable areas that we now have. So this is a great step.
Absolutely.
Thank you. Any other thoughts, comments before I? All right, I guess not. So going to ask for another motion then to close this portion of this public hearing.
I'll make a motion to close the public hearing.
I love when you rush up there. It's great. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right, we're closed on that one. Very good. Thank you, Lisa. Appreciate that. All right, there's not anything on the old business, so we're going to jump down to new business, item J. This is the Facade Improvement Grant Request Petition, 013-694-2022. And up again, we have Miss Janet.
Thank
Where's
you.
yours?
I believe George Johnson is joining us on Zoom.
He's probably out there somewhere. I'm sure he's listening. This is great. Thanks, guys. Our IT team is keeping us going again. So thank you. Go ahead.
Okay, well, I'll start with a few words about the facade improvement program. The program was put in place to assist property owners with reinvestment in historically appropriate rehabilitation of qualifying buildings in our downtown. And each year, the program offers a total of $50,000. Awards are up to 50% of the cost of rehabilitation as a reimbursement. The remaining funds in the 2022 fiscal year are $38,537, and the applicant is seeking a grant not to exceed $14,768. There we go. Okay, so George Johnson is the applicant, and he is looking for a facade grant for the building at 108 East South Main Street. And a brief history of this building. The Building was constructed in 1906 and served as the headquarters of the Waxhaw Bank and Trust Company. The Waxhaw Bank was acquired by the American Bank and Trust Company in 1958. American Bank Company renovated the first story to give it a colonial appearance. The original display windows were replaced with multi-plane windows. A new broken pediment entrance was applied, new brick veneer was applied, and the 12/12 sash windows on the second story date from this period. United Carolina Bank acquired the American Bank Company in 1969 and operated here until 1975. The building currently houses Mona Boutique on the first floor and FD Cigar Company upstairs. The facade features round arched windows with brick arched surrounds, continuous projecting brick lintels, and brick sills. The building displays elaborate corbelled cornices, recessed brick panels, and partial pilasters with corbelled drip ends marking the edges of the building. The proposed work includes the replacement of all windows and entry door, removing the shutters, and painting the trim a dark bronze. On the right is a rendering of the proposed facade. The upper windows will not keep the 12/12 sashes, but rather will be restored to the 8-pane windows that you see on the adjacent building. The 8-pane upper windows are also found on the Waxhaw Women's Club and the Niven Price buildings. The renovations will eliminate the first floor multi-pane windows, replacing them with display glass. Mr. Johnson has included 2 cost estimates with the application. The first is from Lowe's at $28,412.55, and the second is from Rock Hill Glass at $29,536. The Historic Preservation Commission unanimously recommended approval of the facade improvement application at their April 14th regular meeting. Tonight's requested action is a motion to either approve as presented up to 50% of the actual cost of work, to approve with modifications, or to deny the application. And with that, I can answer any questions, and Mr. Johnson is available over Zoom to answer questions.
Very good. Thank you, Janet. Mr. Johnson, can you hear us?
I can. Can you hear me?
Very good, loud and clear.
Well, thank you. Thank you, everybody, for considering this grant proposal. We are very pleased to continue our economic redevelopment contributions to downtown Waxhaw. We believe it's very important for other owners and business proprietors to enhance the downtown district. It's something that I know this board is very passionate about, and we are as well. It's our great hope that we can continue to acquire properties in downtown Waxhaw to further enhance the redevelopment of downtown Waxhaw. We are trying to keep some consistency and continuity to what we're doing with the buildings that we own. We are also trying to keep in mind what the town has done in the past and what they would like to see with other buildings beside us. So we're keeping that in mind as well. We believe this is a very important project. This building really needs some upgrades and upfit, and we hope that you will approve this facade grant.
Very good, thank you. As I remember, Mr. Johnson was the purchaser of the Nivens building as well and has made fairly significant improvements to that building and seems to be able to continue that. So we appreciate that. Any thoughts or comments from the board? Any questions for the presenter or the applicant? Commissioner Simpson.
Good evening, Mr. Johnson. Good to see you.
Thank you, you as well.
Question I have, which I saw the pictures here, which had the multi-paned glass, but it looks like from that is not going to be the style. They're going to be 8-paned glass on the top and then just clear on the bottom with no mullions.
Correct. The upper windows will mirror what is on the adjacent building where Blood Law is. So that's why we included that one window in the picture, so you could see what the upper windows would look like. So they will not be the 12x12 small windows as currently in the building. We will move to the 8-pane windows upstairs. The ones downstairs will no longer have the grids in them. The current tenant has asked that we have big clear plate glass windows to show off the furniture, and any future tenants would have the clear. Now, we cannot stop them from tinting that if it starts to impact their furniture or anything else, but our plan is to have clear plate glass windows on the bottom.
And no mullions, just one big piece of glass. Not,
Correct. 2 big plate glass windows there.
Very good. Any other thoughts? Commissioner Westlake, I see you
Oh,
leaning in.
I really like the color that is in the picture. My question is, because it is different from the color next to it, I'm wondering, did the Historic Preservation make any comments regarding the difference in colors, that this wouldn't comply, or?
No, they did not. The Nivens Price Building has the trim in that color as well, and the business to the left also has dark trim.
So the intent is hopefully it'll move down the row there. Okay.
And we plan to do the front and the back of the building, so we want to make sure that we are not having it where patrons of the town or anything else have it where the back of the building's white and the front of it's black. We want to have consistency and continuity from front to back, and we're very thankful that you opened the grant up to include front, sides, and back of buildings. I think many people neglect the back of a building, and, you know, with that being parking back there and the new bakery back there and the takeout business of Maxwell's, I think it's important for people to see that we're not neglecting the back of the buildings as well. And I think other owners should take that into consideration as well.
Very good. It's a good addition. Any other thoughts, comments, questions? All right. Thank you, both of you, for being with us tonight. So with that, we'll move down to request for a motion on this. If somebody would be willing to put up the motion, please.
I'll make a motion to approve FIP-013694-2022 as presented, up to 50% of the actual cost of work, not to exceed $14,768.
Very good, thank you. Dollars. All right, very good. So, motion's up, all in favor?
Aye.
Very good, it's passed. So, thank you both for working on this. Thank you for our Preservation Committee. I know you're sitting back there. Welcome, and thank you for being a part of this whole process on helping us improve our downtown area. So, thank you all very much. All right, next one up is a request, Town of Waxhaw, Major Subdivision 0138042022, Sunbonnet Lane, Sunbonnet Way, whatever you want to call it. So we're making an improvement over there. So Miss Lisa is up to tell us about this one again.
Thank you. The town is seeking approval for a by right preliminary subdivision right-of-way plat along Sunbonnet Lane. The platting of right-of-way is considered a major subdivision, therefore it has to go through this process with the planning board recommendation and council commissioners vote. The proposed right-of-way is to be publicly dedicated. It'll be 40 feet wide. The platting and public dedication of Sunbonnet Lane will allow the town to pave the existing gravel drive, provide the needed drainage improvements, and then assume street maintenance. This was an approved CIP project for 2022. The properties were annexed quite a while ago, so it'll be good to provide some improvements for this area and for those residents. There we go.
There you go, there's our map.
There we go. So on the bottom left is a GIS clip, and as you can see, we thought there was at least a private right-of-way along Sunbonnet Lane, so we were surprised when we got the plat back that the lot lines were all over the place. So if you can follow my cursor here, this is one lot that goes all the way across and down, and this goes all the way up. So since we're not purchasing the public right-of-way. We're going to just keep the lot lines how they are and run the 40-foot public right-of-way easement along the existing path. The new right-of-way places two properties in nonconformity with our R3 20-foot front setback. These two right here. So 160D allows us to approve a plat with this nonconformity as long as you guys make that approval of that administrative variance. Planning Board reviewed the major subdivision April 19th and unanimously recommended approval. So we have two votes tonight. One, we'll need a motion to approve the administrative variance for those two parcels to allow them to encroach in that 20-foot setback, and then a motion to approve the subdivision as presented. I'd be happy to answer any questions.
How old is this subdivision? It's been around for 50 years, probably, maybe more. Ow.
So, it's safe to say that this has been an administrative nightmare.
I bet. On your mic.
This has been an administrative nightmare, but thankfully we're at the clear up stage and we'll be ready to move forward with the CIP project.
That's great.
Just for any citizens watching, this is an existing subdivision. We aren't doing anything for a new subdivision.
Right.
New houses.
The process.
The houses are already there.
Right, and they've been there
That's
for
right.
60
Houses
years
are
or so.
there, and we're trying to make an equitable situation for the people that live in that area. And so we were surprised at how that plat looked when we started doing our research, but thanks to Charlie and thanks to Lisa and any other staff, we're good to go.
Worked its way through. Well, it is difficult, as you could see. That was on the map there. It is kind of a nightmare, so I think your resolution is well thought out, actually, and very creative. So I will personally thank all of you guys for everybody who's worked on it to come up with a solution, including Mr. Charlie over there. I think that's it's a great team effort to solve a very old problem.
Odyssey of the minds.
Odyssey of the mind, yeah. Any of those kids participate in the lines on that? I mean,
Todd Matthews, our Public Services Director, also deserves a special thanks. He's been the conduit to that neighborhood there, and he's reached out to all those folks. And as usual, he already knew most, if not all, of those owners, and he's just been imperative to also getting their cooperation in this as well.
you know, Todd, you can never leave, right? It's like Hotel California, right?
I have a question.
Question, Commissioner Simpson.
So, this might be to you too, Charlie, I'm not sure, is if we do an administrative variance to the parcels, does that stay in perpetuity? So if they, let's say, bulldoze the houses sometime, will that variance still sit with that? Or if they move, you know, if they tore down the houses and built something else on that property, does that stay with that?
What this variance does, you cannot approve a subdivision plat that's not in conformity with your subdivision regulations. Well, after planning this and drawing it out, it was creating a really inequitable situation. This variance would simply allow, if you approve it, would allow you then to adopt and approve the subdivision plat as drawn. Otherwise, you can't approve it.
But my question is,
So
if,
that's an administrative variance for this approval.
okay. So if they, let's say this house burned to the ground, or they do them as tear downs, put mansions or something else in that property, this variance just kind of dies with that.
Not the whole
It doesn't
thing.
die, they can rebuild it because it.
But they can still rebuild it within the 20 feet.
Well, essentially, yes.
If, say, for the circumstance that the house did burn, then the question would be back, would we apply the new rules and regulations? Or would we let them exist under the
Variance.
variance?
That's really the question.
It seems to me that this variance is just simply an administrative one. It's not like a Board of Adjustment variance that goes through a quasi-judicial and property owners receive notice and this, that, and the other, the adjoining property owners. It seems to me that if this were to burn or to be bulldozed down and sold, that there's still room for them to comply with the setback requirements that would be in place at that time.
Right.
So that if they bulldoze the house or if it burnt to the ground, it would have to comply with the new set, not necessarily this variance.
I guess it would would compare, it would have to do with if the house was completely bulldozed or burnt, where you'd have to move the foundation, or you'd have an opportunity to move the foundation, and then we'd apply the new standard then. But if it's a foundation that is salvageable, then it can be rebuilt in its now location. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay.
Yeah, that was my question, because if you look at where they're located on their parcel, there'd be plenty of land if they want, I'm talking future.
And that should be included in the motion.
That was just my question. Will this always, but it applies
Right.
to the structure, but if the structure got, let's say they did a tear down house, or, in 100 years, does it live with?
Correct.
That was my,
I think Charlie would agree that also that would be part of the motion to be
Really,
specific.
don't need to.
No,
No.
don't need that,
Wouldn't need
because
to.
the only thing we're doing now is giving you the opportunity to approve the subdivision plat. That's your second motion, so that you can approve it, because you cannot approve
non-conforming.
a situation where the road itself is not conforming to our town standards. The width of this road, the way it varies, will not comply with our town standards. So to be able to do that, but you've got to give relief to these people who are living there, and they've got to have a road. So this is kind of a situation where you're taking somewhat leeway in order to provide equity to these people. The percentages of any of these things happening are zero, but if know this though, if that has to be redone, where it would have been a non-conforming use and you cannot rebuild it, for instance, they can still rebuild it, but they may just have to comply with the setback lines in place at that point.
Correct.
And you also have to remember that we're looking at the maps here two-dimensional. So if you go out there, you may have topo issues and may explain some good reason why the houses are where they are.
Sure, I was just getting back to what Commissioner Simpson said with how that would come into effect should something happen, so that in the future there isn't that discussion of, well, it says that we could do it, and there wouldn't be the discussion of, well, no, you can't. Because
It's a
it's
very-
a sunset almost.
The whole purpose
We
of
have
the
non-
administrative variance, though,
We have non-conforming standards in our ordinance, so if it's 50% or more dilapidated, or, so our ordinance would then apply. So if it's torn down, we follow the ordinance, they have to meet the new setback. If it's 50% or more, same thing.
Right.
So
Okay.
I think we're
And that's-
covered.
And that's the request. I
Okay.
mean,
So-
if something happened, we as a town get to apply the then current standard.
Okay. I just try to avoid the argument of, well, it's here now. So that's what,
Yeah, but our own codes and ordinances and the way this is set up
it's your
will
purpose
protect
is
us.
to be able to build this road.
sure. Okay.
I understand the now, my question was the future.
Right, that's,
But then you've got ordinances in place to take care of it.
So then they'll have to comply with what's current at that time.
If it goes beyond the 50%.
Okay.
So if you knock it down, knock it all down or nothing, right?
I got it.
just making sure.
No, good conversation. That's great. All right, any other thoughts, questions by anybody on this stuff? All right, so tonight, we're looking for two motions. And so we'll look at the first one. Can I have a motion, please? Can everybody see the screen who would want to make the motion?
I make a motion to approve the administrative variance for parcel 06168052 and 06168050 to allow for the existing homes to encroach in the minimum 20-foot setback.
All right, so the motion's up. Lisa, did you have
I
a
was just
comment?
going to make one comment. The property owners do have to sign off on this plat, so they're aware of the encroachment.
Very good. So an acknowledgement, right? Okay, very good. All right, the motion is up. No other discussion on it. All in favor?
Aye.
Very good, all around. All right, next motion up is on there, motion to approve the major subdivision. And now that's down off of my screen. Who's got it on their screen if would like to make a motion again?
I'll make a motion to approve the major subdivision 013804-2022 as presented.
Very good, thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
All around, we're good, thank you. All right, thank you, Lisa, appreciate that. All right, next up is a parking license agreement between the town of Waxhaw and Historic Ventures LLC. So we're going to flip back to our town manager, Mr. Jeffrey Wells.
Thank you, Mayor. I'm going to go up to the podium because I need the clicker.
What, they didn't give you one?
Not my own.
Not your own?
Good evening, everybody.
Evening.
So the town and Historic Ventures LLC have come to an agreement on a parking license for their property that is located along NC 16. It is the vacant parcel that is between Ardmore Apartments and NC 16, so just north of Bivens Drive, which is down here on the south end of the screen. To the east is NC 16. Well, yeah, used to be Bivens. And then to the west here is North Church Street. The entire parcel is a little over 2.5 acres, and it comes to a point to the north here where North Church Street intersects with NC 16. So the term of this parking agreement would be for 2 years from the date the parking area is open for use. It would have 1-year renewals thereafter, and there would be a 60-day notice to terminate within any of those renewal periods, whether it's within the 2 years or each year thereafter. So the compensation would be a little bit different for this one than what we've done in the past. We have historically had monetary leases of these lots. This time the compensation will be maintenance of the property. This has been an issue for the town in the past on this piece of property, and so we think that that is a good, equitable trade-off, and the property owner there was very happy to oblige that arrangement. So we will put that on our regular mowing schedule and keep up with the entire piece of property in that manner. Property would also be placed on our liability insurance coverage, so we have that covered in case anything happens on the property. So the total number of spaces is 53, and you see we have a driveway entrance point off of NC 16. There is pretty much, you can tell where that entry point would be now. When you drive by, they'd be able to circulate through the entire site and exit out onto North Church Street. We're going to drop in a culvert there and make that passable so that you have a through situation there. There will be a fence that will be put up as part of our liability. There is a fairly substantial depression, I guess you would call that. So we definitely want to make sure that people are aware of that and stay away from that feature. And the estimated cost for us to prep this site is about $20,000. We have budgetary dollars available in our small transportation fund. Our bridge steps addition project has come in well under budget, so we can just reappropriate from that line item and utilize that funds to complete this project. It's basically, as I said, it's a culvert prepping the driveway, a whole lot of gravel and some minor grading, and then you'll have a parking lot. So we feel like this is a great use for the property, hopefully for a temporary amount of time, because if it does not continue in that way, that means that they'll be developing it with something. So that'd be great tax base for the city, or for the town rather. And staff recommends approval of the parking license agreement for the town of Waxhaw and Historic Ventures LLC. If you have any questions, I'll be happy to answer them.
This property was as affectionately known as the old Stacks property where Stacks was, terraced lot, so it's been here for a while. In addition, well, we get the lease on the entire acreage, front to back, and the improvement part is just, right now, is just the 53 plus lots. Plus, we also have the ability to drop down, if I remember right, in the depressed area there on the retaining wall side to add additional spaces in there as well as we see fit. That's a pretty good trade-off.
We certainly can, depending on, I guess, how long this goes and we see how it gets used. If we find that that is very popular, then maybe we should continue on. I think they'll come in very handy as we've got another project that'll be coming along soon where we'll temporarily lose some spaces in downtown, part of the TAP project. So this will be able to make that up. And of course, we'll be able to keep those around for a good while after that project is open as well.
It's a great solution.
Jeff, is this going to look like the corner lot does, the community corner lot with the gravel and how they have the blocks?
Parking stops, yes, there will be parking stops.
So it looks very similar to like what the gravel lot does in the community corner.
But probably different material as the base, correct? Probably have the crushed granite. Come on up. You don't escape.
Yeah.
That'd be ABC stone instead of the Alabama stone.
Okay.
The brownstone. But it still look nice. We keep everything mowed and all.
And also, everything is going to be, since we're going to have to mow the entire property, to understand that we're going to have a little bit of an effort to drag the site to make sure that we don't have anything that damages our equipment in the mowing process.
Or y'all welcome to come out and walk it if you want to.
Yeah, no, I'll leave that one to you. I walk it enough. So that's great. That's a great solution. And what do you think your timing is going forward to have that done?
Well, it's going to be staff done. So
Okay.
it's just a matter of
Public
getting all
Works.
the materials ordered, which we've already started to line up quotes.
Okay.
And so we're hoping in the next, I'd say, 2 to 3 months.
If it gets approved tonight, we will clean it up tomorrow.
Okay.
Mow it and everything.
Right.
And then I'll start getting quotes to grade it out.
I know that there's a couple of existing old structures in there, storm drains, things
Yeah,
like
there's a
that.
couple, we don't fill those out, and
Yeah.
pack them in, and probably crawl down in the hole, see if there's a hole in the pipe, see if we can patch it. We're pulling the mud in.
Great. That'd be great. Do we have a number on how many additional spots would fit in that lower area below the retaining wall?
Just looking at it right off, you're probably looking at another 25, 30 maybe.
That's significant. That's really significant. That's a great fix.
So I have one question. So I could see people cutting through there to get over to Church Street. Is there any consideration, anything we can do about that? Because, and I can't tell from the picture how far this is from a road where they would cut through, but could you see that happening, that people would cut through there? So is there anything we can do about that?
It is possible, but I'm not going to argue that. We debated whether we should have both ends open, but we thought that, if you only have the 16 open, you're going to run into issues during rush hours in the mornings with people trying to get in and out there. So while there could be an issue with people cutting through there, we think that is less of an issue than if we just have one driveway open.
And we could, if we have an issue, we could take a temporary measure to close it off
Well, we don't put
as we
gates
choose.
up,
Right.
So we can shut it if we need to for
Right.
events and stuff.
If it becomes an issue.
That's true. Yeah, we have the ability to adjust. I mean, with the dollar amount that we're investing into it is pretty minimal. If we need to make adjustments based on whatever situations are observed out there, I think we can adjust that and not feel too bad about what we've spent.
And we just want to open it up again to mainly event-type parking, although it'll be open all the time, so we could close off one end of it, whichever one we choose, and hold it till we have an event where we might have to let people out both sides.
If you take out the driveway on Church Street, it's only maybe $300.
It'll
You
give-
can use a pipe somewhere else.
Right.
It'll give us flexibility. My thought would be is let's start out with it open and see how things go. If we see an issue with it, then I think we can adjust.
I mean, it's going to be gravel, so it's not a paved surface, so it might be a little challenge for some, or that may not. And it's not just a straight cut through, as you can see on the design. It starts low on one side and ends up in Church Street, so there's several turns in there. So hopefully that'll be a deterrent, but, we'll have to watch to make sure. But to pick up the parking spaces, especially when we're looking at the east-north main improvement that we're doing next, it'll be a good place for them, and it's still literally walkable, and if we decide to ferry people during that time, we have a place to go with it. Any other? Commissioner Simpson, I see your hand up.
Is there going to be any signage?
Yes, there
And
will be.
and I know this whole parcel as a whole sometimes doesn't look so nice, but I'm sure that you're going to clean it up and make it look a little bit prettier.
Yeah.
Every week.
With all the stakes and all that, all the
Yeah.
wire and everything, yeah.
Mr. Hall.
Todd, I can't remember this. I think this is a great project. This is absolutely wonderful. Is there a little bit of a sidewalk there or something? Because I could see folks really taking advantage of this. And I think there's one that connects right on the.
There's no side, but we will have a crosswalk. We don't put in a piece of sidewalk.
There'll have to be a crosswalk across 16 to get to the sidewalk over there, and then also the same on Church Street for the
Right.
Ardmore side.
Right, to get to the sidewalk side.
Yeah.
Right. Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, I could see that being. I see this being very, very useful and beneficial for the town for sure.
A lot of people park there anyway. This is making it virtually legal.
Or we're not towing them away, right? Exactly. Great. Thank you. Any other comments? All right. All right, thanks to the both of you. If there's no other comments, I'm going to look for a motion to, on this property. So,
I'll make a motion to approve the parking lease agreement between the town of Waxhaw and Historic Ventures LLC as written.
instead of agreement is what you're saying?
Did we say it was gonna be a license?
Parking license agreement.
Okay, it isn't on our form, it's up there, though.
Motion's got lease. Should be parking license.
Ah, okay.
If you'd want to restate that?
License agreement.
So I'll restate it. So I'll make the motion to approve the parking license agreement between the town of Waxhaw and Historic Ventures LLC as written.
All right, motion's up. All in favor?
Aye.
All the way around. Unanimous, thank you. Appreciate that.
Thank you.
That'll be a nice addition. All right, I thought maybe you'd want to stand up there again. All right, tonight, Jeff, you can have the floor back if you'd like to start up with maybe a brief comment on any town leadership or not.
I actually do not have anything this evening, but I will just say it is really great to see everybody here.
It's awesome. It is really good. So, all right, appreciate that. Good work all the way around. We're really accomplishing things. So I don't think that there's, Mr. Matt is not here tonight for any comments, so I'm going to drop down to Miss Dina over here.
Good evening. So we're going to go over all things Park and Rec, upcoming programs, and events. We are at the end of our program guide. Our next one starts up in July, so please keep a lookout for that from July to December. We are in the middle of our youth ballet class. It's actually happening right now. And they're having a good time, and we have actually 9 students, which is awesome. Walking club is every Tuesdays and Thursdays. Please come and join Miss Justine. The new Little Cooks and Fun Books is on Wednesdays, and we're doing that monthly with Miss Justine and Miss Riley. And then next week, we have mixology on Monday. Hero Project, we're taking a break this week because we're getting set up for Kaleidoscope. So we're back again next week. And yes, and then we're at June, and then in June 8th, we're starting in the morning time. So we're switching from the afternoon to the morning. And we're exploring all different places in Waxhaw. Upcoming this weekend, we have our youth art show. So Union County and our homeschoolers in Union County have participated and have over 250 art pieces that we will be displaying at the Waxhaw United Methodist Social Hall starting on Friday night and then on Saturday. And we have some special judges coming in the next couple days to judge the artwork. But these are some pictures from last year, and so they had an awesome time. And we just want to invite our citizens and families to come out on Friday night and on Saturday. Coming up this weekend is our Kaleidoscope. So we have a wonderful lineup on the stage. We also have really cool drum circles, a maypole, hint artists, face painting, tie-dye. All these things are free. So come out and join us. It's great youth programs. Then we also have an artist village, and then wonderful shuttle stops along Waxhaw, so you don't have to drive down here. We'll take care of you. So if you would like to drop off at, actually get picked up at the clubhouse at Millbridge and the athletic barn, you can get picked up there and get dropped off at North Main and Broad. Lawson's Clubhouse and Blythe Mill Field, you can get dropped off at Price and Church. And then Waxhaw Elementary, you'll get dropped off at South Main and South Providence at our new flashing light and beacon. So that's your ways to get down here safely and with no traffic issues at all. And we have wonderful new food trucks. They're like all around the world. Let me go back. All around the world kind of cuisine, and just all around a wonderful time to come and join us. And that is on May the 14th from 10 to 6. Save the date is Memorial Day is coming up at the end of the month. Please join us at the Wall of Honor at 10 a.m. And then our first Jam by the Tracks is on June the 3rd at the Community Corner at 7 to 9. Just to give you an update about the new downtown park. So we get flyover pictures, which is really cool. So this is one of the pictures that we got last week, and it kind of tells you of our clearing area. And then if you can look at the concept to your right, you can kind of see this is the front of the park. So that detention pond area is where the kids' playground is at. Right there is right there. And so you can kind of see the starting the clearing of the site and getting ready for all of these cool amenities. Also, the barn's restrooms, they're got their footers and starting to get their pad this week as well. So that's moving along nicely. Our Buy a Brick is coming to a close at the end of June. So it's your last chance to be a part of the park. So please join the Waxhaw family and be a part of our new artwork that's down there, and just be a part of our family as Waxhaw. And I leave you with our vision and mission, as always, and if you have any questions.
Thoughts, questions? Anything? So we're going to have, I see 5 shuttle stops. So what do you see on the pickup side, correct?
Pickup side.
So we've got shuttle 1, so I guess the message is that 5. Yeah.
5.
Good. Message is that people don't have to drive downtown after we're creating all this parking, but they don't have to drive downtown. And they can pick it up from the master plan communities, Lawson.
And Millbridge.
Blythe Mill there, that's one. Millbridge, over at the athletic barn in Waxhaw Elementary. I think that's awesome. That's a great thing to have, and it's going to help when we start to move into the improvement side of the downtown area of East North Main to get people used to this. So that's going to be a great asset. And we're looking forward to as many of us can be at Saturday's event
Awesome.
there too. So Barbie, you might have to post a notice for us or so, because we might all be out there. So just be mindful of that. So any other thoughts, comments?
I just had a question. Is there going to be a graphic on social media showing all the pickup spots and the?
Yes, sir. They're actually, the comms team is working on it now. We had to do some tweaks today, so that's the reason why it's a little delayed.
Okay.
All right. It's no other further questions. Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm looking forward to getting that park done. I like the aerials that you're able to provide for us. So I'm going to have to go back to my phone shut off and I can't get what I wanted up there, but I will. Just hang on a second. So with this, I want to be able to recognize Commissioner Westlake for a little award that she got over at the League of Municipalities last week when you all visited over there. I'm sorry? 2 weeks already? Wow, time flies when you're having fun. I know, 2 weeks. So why don't you tell us about what this is? I'm going to give you the mic. How's that? Tell us what the award is and how you were selected.
Oh my gosh, you're throwing me on the spot here
I
now.
am. Of course I am.
I think
My job.
the main purpose is that the league has classes that you can take to expand your knowledge in municipal leadership, and I've recently taken some classes, so I think it was just in recognition for that.
Well, that's awesome. So you are their advanced municipal leader or learner. Is that what it is? AML.
AML is all I know.
That's awesome. Well, that's good. It's good. Thank you for doing that, for one, taking the time, interest to do that for certainly us and yourself.
Well, my goal is to get certified.
Certified.
They're going to have, they have 3 certifications.
Ah, what's the next step?
Well, you just keep taking classes.
Keep taking classes and then get
these different levels of certification.
Awesome.
Kind of like what Wendy did, but not really.
Yeah, kind of like that. Well, just add more acronyms to your business card. So that's awesome. Well, thank you. Thank you for doing that, and thank you for representing us over there. All right. Well, good.
Am I on?
You are now. There you
Okay. I'm going to follow up with that to say that, along with Commissioner Westlake, myself, Commissioner Simpson, and Commissioner Morey, the 4 of us did attend the North Carolina League of Municipalities City Vision Workshop. It was a conference for leaders from all across the state of North Carolina to come together and share ideas with each other and the different municipalities, as well as to take sessions that were taught by various people in different areas. Some of the areas and sessions that we went to included building climate resilience, community growth and planning with 10 critical elements in urban planning. We talked about the American Rescue Plan. We talked about emerging issues for racial equality, equity, and emerging issues there. How to address affordable housing needs that many municipalities have, and not to look at it so much as affordable housing, but housing that is affordable for people to live. There was also a session on water and wastewater programs, including ARPA grants, and one that was on municipal issues and crossroads regarding First and Fourth Amendment issues that various municipalities are facing with individuals called auditors who are attacking or coming into municipalities, so to keep us aware of what's going on. So I think the sessions were very good. They were very helpful for us in learning. We have already reached out to some of the program leaders to see if they could not only come to the town of Waxhaw, but also have allowed us to reach out to our other surrounding municipalities to work together with some of these urban issues and even the First and Fourth Amendment right issues, and have those people come in, speak to all the municipalities as a whole, and hold that session so that everyone can learn and see what is actually going on out in the state of North Carolina and what we all need to be aware of. So it was very helpful. It was very informative. We were able to collaborate with some of our neighboring municipalities, and I think we took a lot away from those sessions in being there. So.
That was very good, very worthwhile.
Oh, we also learned.
You're looking to replace me, aren't you?
Well, speaking of that.
Oh.
We also had a session on how to communicate with everyone who isn't you, and also different communication styles that we as individuals have on a board, and learned that even among the 4 of us who were there, that we had various communication styles that differed. So it allowed you to see the difference in how you communicate and how you talk to that individual and how they are receiving what you are saying to them. So that was very worthwhile. So I'm going to share that with our town manager as well, because we've reached out to get that same format so that you can use that as well with staff.
That ought to be a lot of fun.
We'll share that with you as well.
And we all have different styles, but we all communicate well together.
Yes,
We do.
we
We
do.
actually play well in the sandbox
We
together.
do.
So this has been, I think, all of us have had conversations today, and one I had with Commissioner Maury earlier, is that this is a great working board. You know, we've been able to achieve so much in the last 2.5 years that we should be proud of where we are, where we're sitting, and my applause to those who were able to attend that conference, because you will get, going outside of our little enclave here, you're going to get some perspective that you may or may not have in the past. So, yeah, I'm not ready for you to take over as mayor yet, but you're going to replace me as developer, so there you go. So that's awesome. So I appreciate everybody's effort and the takeaways on that, and I think that we'd like to probably be the host for that series that might come to us from those speakers. So we'll start to coordinate that internally and get that out there. I think it'd be a great thing for our other municipalities to see some of that and give some current or up-to-date thinking on how to manage where they are and where they want to go. So I think it'd be very valuable to do that. So I'm looking forward to that. Maybe we can get that going maybe in the summertime or so, depending
It
on.
will be sometime after June.
Sometime after
With their
June.
scheduling.
Okay, yeah, I was going to say the
That's what they said.
schedules are usually tough, so.
Right.
So that'd be great. I'd like to see that happen. And certainly we'll make way for us to host it somewhere, somehow. We'll figure that out. So appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you for bringing us up to date. Anything else that any other commissioners want to share on that or any other topic? Very good. You're off the hook. We don't have anything on the closed session tonight, so one of you race up to make a motion to adjourn. Oh, look
Motion
at
to
that, you're all
adjourn.
quiet. I love it. Motion to adjourn is up on the board. All in favor?
Aye.
Very good. Thank you, everyone, for being with us tonight and presenting, and everybody who viewed us online. Thank you for some of our staff and
Have a good night.
committee members to come over. So thank you. Good night.